step to the moon. A mission that has become the first in a series of increasingly complex missions to expand the bounds of human exploration. This is the story of Artemis 1.
3, 2, 1. Boosters in ignition. And liftoff of Artemis 1. We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
Artemis 1 was a first flight that set new records of performance, exceeded our estimates for efficiency, and established new safety baselines for human flight into deep space. All before returning from this journey, plunging through Earth's atmosphere, and arriving safely back on our home planet.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, St. Thomas, St. John, St. Croix. Happy Wednesday, everybody. For those of you across the continental United States, welcome to the beautiful University of the Virgin Islands. My name is Christina Chanas, and I'm a research specialist here at the university in the College of Science and Math. We'd like to welcome you to the annual UVI NASA Outreach event, and we'd like to welcome all of our partners all across the world. Before we get started, I'd like to share a quick message from Dr. David Hall, the president of the university. Dr. Hall?
Good morning. My name is David Hall. I am the president of the University of the Virgin Islands. I have been president here for over 14 years. This is my 15th year, and it is always exciting to be able to welcome our NASA partners. They have partnered with the university for so many years, and it has really made a difference. This program in particular is one that is very special, and so I want to welcome all of the students who are participating either in person or participating online. I also want to have a special shout out to our teachers who are participating in this program and are the ones who nurture the students who participate in this program. You are their heroes, but you are our heroes as well. In addition to the wonderful students who are participating from the Virgin Islands, we have students who are participating internationally. And I just want to mention a few of the places that we have connections with. There are students here from South Africa, the Philippines, the DC International School. We also have students in Florida who are part of the Palm Beach School and the Naples Classic Academy. Our deep gratitude to have this international diversity of students participating in the same program. As Virgin Islanders, we are always proud when individuals go off and do great things and then come back and share their knowledge and insights with us. There are two individuals who are part of our family, but part of the Nassau family, Ms. Fullwood and Dr. King. They are participants and will be sharing information with the students, and they are a shining example that the Virgin Islands produces excellence, and we are glad when that excellence comes back and shares with us. I also want to thank the Montessori School and International Academy. They were the ones who launched this initiative back in 2013, and the University of the Virgin Islands is so thankful for their leadership, but we are glad that we have been able to take this over and to move it to even greater heights with the leadership of Christina Chans and David Morris and others who participate in our physics program. And one of the things I hope you understand, especially to students who are considering pursuing higher education, and I hope all of you are, that the University of the Virgin Islands has an outstanding physics program. We were attracting students for a number of years through our applied mathematics program and our engineering partnership with numerous institutions around the nation. We still have that program in existence. However, a number of years ago, we were able to develop a bachelor's degree in physics and have a focus on astronomy, a focus on engineering concentration, and that has attracted many students to us. And what I am proud of is that in just 4 years, we have been able to graduate 14 students with that degree, that is the BS in physics. Many of those students are now pursuing a PhD in physics. Some of them are in the workforce, doing great things as well. So that is another example of how the university is able to attract students from around the world, cultivate them in a very special field, and finally able to contribute to NASA. One of the reasons we wanted to have this program was so that we could be a supply chain for the talent that NASA and other federal agencies and private agencies need in the workplace. And so finally, I just want to say to all of the students gathered that we would love to have you consider us as an institution for you to pursue your educational dreams. And especially to those who are in very cold climates, it would be wonderful to pursue your degree at a place where the temperature is always in the 80s, where there's a beach right on your campus, and where you can enjoy studying and having a wonderful time year-round. And for those of you who are Virgin Islanders, please remember that we are one of the few institutions in the nation that offers free tuition, and that is complete coverage of all of your costs. And it is the way in which the government and the university are saying to you that we are investing in your future because we want you to invest in our future. So thank you all for participating in this exciting program. Again, I want to thank NASA for its investment in the future of this nation, because all of you, no matter what you think you want to do in the future, you are our best weapons for moving science forward, moving technology forward, and moving this nation and world forward. So welcome again to the program, and I hope you have a wonderful and exciting day. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we'd like to share with you the educators, the high school students, and our junior high school youth that are with us today. And if mom and dad and brothers and sisters are here, we're happy to share the information with the whole family. We have a very short video from Cancrine, the Adelita Cancrine Junior High School from last year. It's currently being called Lockhart K through 8, and we'd like to share that with you now.
Hi, I'm Kamisha Salas, an 8th grade student, and I'm your future astrophysicist.
Hi, I'm Kaylee Charles, an 8th grade student, and I'm your future physicist.
We are the UVI Water Ambassadors from Adelita Cancrine Junior High School.
Many know the USVI as a beautiful place in the Eastern Caribbean, but let's share a little bit about our history. The United States Virgin Islands, officially the Virgin Islands of the United States, are a group of Caribbean islands and an unincorporated and organized territory of the United States. The islands are geographically part of the Virgin Islands archipelago and are located in the Leeward Islands of the Lesser Antilles to the east of Puerto Rico and west of the British Virgin Islands. The U.S. Virgin Islands consist of the main islands of St. Croix, St. John, and St. Thomas, and 50 other surrounding minor islands and cays. The total land area of the territory is 133.73 square miles. The territory's capital is Charlotte-Amalie on the island of St. Thomas, previously known as the Danish West Indies of the Kingdom of Denmark, Norway, from 1754 to 1814, and the Independent Kingdom of Denmark from 1814 to 1917. They were sold to the United States by Denmark for $2,500,000 in the 1917 Treaty of the Danish West Indies, and have since been an organized, unincorporated United States territory. The U.S. Virgin Islands are organized under the 1954 Revised Organic Act of the Virgin Islands, and have since held 5 constitutional conventions. You can see the islands of St. Thomas and St. John. We are famous for our beautiful beaches, clear blue skies, and festivals that bring millions to our beautiful island.
In the USVI, there's constant study and research of extreme weather and drought.
Details of a dire situation in the territory when it comes to the continuous agriculture is alerting both the farming community and the U.S. drought monitors have listed the territory as severe, hence
Researchers at local and federal agencies such as the VA Department of Planning, Natural Resources, and Water and Power Authority, along with the VA Territorial Emergency (MDT) Agency by TEMA, and the U.S. Drought Monitors, along with our federal partners at USDA, USGS, Environmental Protection Agency, and National Weather Service, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Agency, among others, who work day and night to research and study climate and the impact of climate change so that we can protect our community. You may not know, but many in the USVI actually collect rainwater for home use, as many do not have piped-in city water, much as they do in other areas across the world. Researchers actually study data from the USVI to study climate, and now you can't see it because we have had rain, but in January, February, and March, you can see harsh distress of vegetation, erosion, and compare these images to others taken over longer periods to determine what the impacts of droughts are in the USVI and the region. USDA and the Farm Service Agency work hard to aid farmers in the territory when severe droughts impacts the islands. Right now, we are facing drought conditions, and it appears, based on research here, the territory is heading into an earlier drought. The video of the ponds shows them filled, which is a blessing in our community, but these ponds have not been filled since 2015, and just as recent as December were nearly empty.
Remember, you can do your part to address climate change, conserve water, don't waste food, plan ahead for natural disasters, and learn about science and STEM from every inch of your community, including school, when visiting and going out in your community and become an ambassador to protect our community.
To our fellow future scientists watching today from all across the globe, we hope you enjoyed the presentation presented to you by the students from across the USVI and the nation as we learn more from NASA scientists about how we as students can join the ranks for NASA as we begin our journey to the USVI and other universities and study STEM to make the world a better, safer place for all of us.
We are the UVI Water Ambassadors.
And now, on to the national presentation. Thank you.
Super. Thanks so much. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, I'd like to take this time to introduce my colleague from NASA who's going to take it from here, and she's going to introduce my most favorite person from NASA who I love and have worked with for many, many years, and I'm really excited that you guys get to spend time with him. So, Miss Megan, take it away.
Thank you so much, Christina. I also share your enthusiasm with our guest today. He is my favorite person to work with. So we are excited to chat with you all today and want to open the floor for questions or anything. If you have any questions about teacher resources, anything that our presenter doesn't touch on today, just let us know. But I would like to just go ahead and introduce our speaker, who is Samuel Garcia, and Dr. Samuel Garcia, excuse me. And he will be going over all sorts of resources for you all today and is a wealth of knowledge. I hope you leave today with some good information.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Megan and Christina. I'm delighted to be here with you all. Even though we couldn't make it in person this year, the work continues. And we hope that, we have the opportunity in the near future to reconvene and get to hug each other again and spend a quality time and do this amazing work. So, first I want to acknowledge the team for the invitation, the work that you're doing. Christina out there, UVI, thank you very much. Students and educators, everything that you're doing is incredible. And so, Megan, as part of EGS here at NASA Kennedy Space Center, thank you very much also for organizing this amazing experience for the folks and our friends down there in the islands. And so what I want to do is just, take a quick couple of minutes, just talk to the students here in the room about the different types of careers that await you if you're thinking about working with an agency such as NASA, but also, participating and contributing to this amazing work. And then also I got some information for the educators that are helping to train, educate, and prepare, inspire the next generation of leaders. I got some information for you all because we at NASA have a great deal of support systems in place for teachers. So you're not alone in this effort, right? This is an investment, as Dr. Hall mentioned, by many institutions, and our agency definitely, Megan can tell you, definitely has a big investment in education and outreach. And so I'm just here as part of this broader team to help share this information to you, to help plant those little seeds, informing you that, yes, there is a space for you at NASA. So let's go ahead and kick off this presentation that I have for you, my friends. Hope everybody can see that. And so, like I mentioned, there are plenty of experiences and opportunities for both students and educators. And so just to quickly kind of set the agenda here for today, for the next 15, 20 minutes or so, we'll talk about some of the next gen STEM goals. With any good institution, we always need goals to help guide the work that we do. So I'll touch upon that very briefly. I'll dive into the different careers, right? There are all sorts of different careers at NASA. So I'll talk briefly about those. And then I'll get into the educator portion where we talk about and careers and internships, right? Opportunities for students. And then I'll dive into the educator portion that speaks to what we have for educators and how you can bring the NASA experience to your students in the classroom and ways to do that. And then, of course, the community of practice that we have established for our teachers from across essentially the world. And additional information for both students and teachers. So you might ask me, well, I haven't never seen this gentleman before. He seems to be the favorite of everybody that shared. But it is truly an honor and pleasure to work with folks like Christina and Megan. They make the work all that much better and easier, and just I guess funner, even though it's not funner, it's not a word, but it just make it more enjoyable for us. And so I'm a native from Texas, born and raised on the Rio Grande Valley. It's a border, right on the border of tip of Texas. So my friends, maybe you haven't heard of the RGV, the Rio Grande Valley, but you've heard of SpaceX in Brownsville, Texas, maybe. Well, I grew up about 25 minutes away from there, where Elon Musk is building his Starship that's going to take humans to the moon and beyond to Mars. So that's the region that I call home. And I was a first generation college student. My parents were migrant farm workers, very similar to the Jose Hernandez story. And so my parents eventually decided that, that wasn't a way of life. They didn't want me to continue that legacy. And so they decided to stay put. My dad got a full-time job. My mom started working as well. And they made it their whole, life's work to get me to be successful, right? And for that reason, they worked very hard and pushed me to go to college. And for many of us, it might feel intimidating to go to college, right? I know it was for me. And so I made a lot of mistakes and made more mistakes and mistakes after that. But, I persisted and I stuck with it because I knew that it was worth it, right? It's like what John F. Kennedy said many years ago during the Apollo era. He gave a challenge to the nation saying, we do things because they are, not because they're easy, but because they are hard. And in the end, that hard, and I'll do the other things, right? And so it was totally worth it, right? So I am indebted, of course, to my parents, but also to my teachers that pushed me, the friends that I had support. And so really to be successful, you need to find a community, right? Of folks. You need to be mentorable, right? You need to ask questions, be curious, but also at the same time, open your mind to suggestions and advice. And because it really takes a whole community to advance one person's trajectory. And so I became a teacher. I wanted to become a teacher because I was so inspired by my teachers, and I loved being around young people, and that's where I got my energy. So I taught 7 years at 2 different high schools, one of them which was my alma mater, Mercedes, Texas, and I moved away to Texas State University in San Marcos. I wanted another degree, so I got my PhD also in education because I was just fascinated about how people learn and how to create really rich learning environments for both teachers and students. So that became my life's work. And ever since then, I've been working with NASA since 2019. I got to start at the Jet Propulsion Lab, which is amazing. That's where they build the rovers that go to Mars. And now they're working on a really cool mission called Europa Clipper that's going to be trying to detect life in the alien worlds, right? In one of the moons that orbits Jupiter, which is really exciting. And eventually I came to Kennedy Space Center back in 2019, and I became a program coordinator, and I continue to work in that capacity right now. And I'm also a solar system ambassador, which means that I do work outside my normal work hours because I volunteer and do STEM outside, like for free, right? Just because it's a passion and a hobby of mine. But for NASA, we have a vision, and there's a mission. And you see here, it's all about exploring the secrets of the universe for the benefit of all, right? To make our lives better here on Earth. And then, this is part of the key, right? Christina mentioned that we are looking for folks, we are looking for young people that are going to take us to different parts of this universe, right? And so we're trying to explore the unknown, right? There's so many things out there that we do not know, and we need young minds to help us figure out the answers to all these solutions, right? Because it helps benefit us here on Earth. And so we are calling on young people, right? So I'm a part of what is called the NASA Office of STEM Engagement. And so our work really, basically what this slide says is that we just want to provide as many experiences and rich opportunities for both teachers and students in the hopes that you take this information, you become inspired, and then you become owners of your own future by contributing in ways that just help advance humanity to the next level, right? So everything is related to the missions at NASA. There's so many Earth-based missions, solar system-based missions, moon missions, you know, you name it, satellites. There's so many great programs and projects and missions that are going on at NASA. And so we just want to create those opportunities to help prepare you to participate in some of those opportunities. So we're getting into the careers, right? You see here, there's a team of engineers taking a selfie with one of the rovers, Perseverance, right before it was launched back in 2019 or so. I think it landed during the pandemic, 2020, and then it landed, I think, 2021, if I'm not mistaken. And so they have a good time, right? And so many of you might think, well, you know, I want to be an astronaut, and that's fabulous because we do need astronauts, right? Astronaut training is very rigorous, it's hard. So if that's something you're really passionate about, make sure that you're doing great in school. You go above and beyond what it's called for, and then you train not only your mind, but your body, you take care of yourself. And be proactive, right? You join clubs, you learn languages, you scuba dive. I know in the Virgin Islands, swimming is a big thing. So that is to your advantage, my friends. And so utilize that environment to your advantage, right? Do research, participate in clubs, start community work, right? And so you'll see that a lot of these astronauts have that in common. But they make a very small percentage of the overall workforce at NASA, right? And so, but luckily for us, there's all different types of careers, right, at NASA for folks that, you know, may not have the opportunity to be an astronaut, or, you know, maybe decide later, you know what, that's not for me, right? And so a great place to start is, of course, to become an intern at NASA. At the age of 16, 17, 18, you can already start looking and applying to participate in summer internships at NASA, which is amazing, right? So you get that on your resume going into college. I mean, that sets you up as a really good candidate for scholarships, for taking advanced classes, for, you know, getting internships while you're in the university, or assistantships at the university. And so, you know, I'll talk more about how to do that, but we have plenty of interns, and every year, every center hires interns. Right, at KSE, I think in a given semester we hire about 30 or 35 interns. But I know at the JPL, where I used to work, at the Jet Propulsion Lab, they hire between 700 and 800 interns during the summer, every summer. So that place is like packed. It is busy, right? So there's a lot of young energy, which is a great place to be at. There's also technicians, and so not only do we need engineers, right, which call for 4, maybe sometimes 6 years degrees, but we need technicians also. Those are 2-year degrees, right? So I invite folks that, even though, you know, perhaps you don't really want to jump into a 4-year type of university setting, there are great opportunities just to earn a skill set, right? So you have avionics, there's welding. I know that there's engineering technology. Those are 2-year courses, and there's at small local colleges. They help train young people or folks at any age to become technicians, because a huge part of our workforce are technicians. There's also food scientists, people that construct the launch pads, because without these pads, of course, we wouldn't be able to launch our rockets, right? And then also there's flight controllers. Folks with social media, you know, we need you. Now is prime time to get a job in that type of field. Geologists, people that help us do research, right, to explore more about the lunar surface, about Mars. Graphic designers, right? You see that young lady over there, she designed several posters and different visuals and graphics that we use to present to the public about the research and missions that we're doing at NASA. And also we have folks working on spacesuits, robotics, and of course astronaut trainers. And I talked about that. If you're a strong swimmer, you know, you can, and you love space, well, maybe an astronaut trainer is something that you might consider in the future. But, you know, calling on all my artists, you see here, these are beautiful images of all different types of celestial bodies in our solar system. And so we have Mars, Earth, Venus, we have Ceres, we have Jupiter, Enceladus, which are some of the moons out there around Saturn, Europa, which is a moon around Jupiter, and then 51 Pegasi b. That's also an exoplanet that's way beyond our solar system. And so this is also, you know, folks that are working at NASA that help create these visuals and present it to the public to capture our imagination, right, and make it more visual, because we haven't been to those places. But collecting the data, we have, you know, our engineers work with graphic artists and designers to help paint the picture of what those areas and, you know, celestial bodies can look like. And of course, you all beautiful young people, we need you students, so we're calling on you, right? This is our call to you, that, you know, your youth, your energy, your insight, your inventiveness, your ingenuity is highly coveted and needed at NASA. And so if you want to get started, I encourage you to get started right after this. Right, do it, right? Don't wait till tomorrow. If you can get it done today, get it done today. And so internships, go to intern.nasa.gov to learn more information. There you can create your profile. You start looking at different opportunities. And one thing I will say is that you keep checking back often, because this website, this information is always continuously being updated, right? And so I encourage you to create your profile first step and start looking at those opportunities, especially around, I would say, February, March. We start putting calls out there for the summer because we need summer interns, right? So this is a great time to start building that profile, because these opportunities, this position will start opening up soon. For my educators in the room, I am also part of NASA Sparks, which means sparking participation and real-world experiences in STEM. And so this is a free, no cost at all program that brings NASA to your students, right? You'll be the facilitator, where we'll give you a series of modules to facilitate with your students. And you see there, we have a classroom in action, and every teacher will have this kind of like curricula, NASA-based curricula, that you can implement readily, that's readily available into your classrooms. And it's very low cost as far as materials wise, and the time is very flexible. So whether you want to do it in a month or an entire year to implement these different activities in your classroom, it's up to you. But this is a great opportunity to get started, and that way your students will get, of course, spark interest in STEM, empower their STEM identity, start exploring STEM pathways and careers. And so very quickly, these are some of the grade bands. So I'm not sure what grade levels are being represented here in today's session, but we have them for all students from K through 2, grades 3 to 5. There's Artemis Focus, 6 through 8. It's a rover's mission to Mars, and then of course the last one, which I'm a part of, grades 9 through 12, which is the NASA Spin-off Challenge, and students get to learn more about some of the spin-offs that help impact our world. And so if you're interested in joining NASA Connects and being part of the Sparks program, you can create a profile on NASA Connects, and this is our educator community of practice, where you can join and become part of all things NASA, and you can stay in contact and work with other educators such as yourself that are trying to do their best, very, very best, to prepare and train and inspire their students to become professionals. Same thing here for students also. The NASA STEM Gateway is kind of our umbrella. So any opportunities that you have or that you want to explore, this is another way to do that. So creating a profile on internship, but also coming here will give you more. So here you'll find challenges, you'll find competitions, you'll find a host of different opportunities that we have for you at NASA. And the last thing I'll mention is that if you want to get a weekly email about news for students, for teachers, teacher training up, professional development, student competition, challenges, internship related information, sign up for this email. It's NASA STEM Express. So that way you get your weekly dose of NASA. It won't be too heavy. It's once a week, and you'll be up to date with the best and most available information regarding these opportunities for yourself and for your students. And then we have all these ways to stay connected. So website, social media, NASA Connects, and the Express email. So I think I've done enough talking. I'm sorry, but the time is now, right? So like I mentioned, don't wait. Get this stuff done, because the sooner you do it, the more time you'll have to prepare and look at, explore these opportunities, because you don't want, this window to close and you'll be like, oh, I should have done that. No, do it now while you have the information, while you have the time, so that way you can best prepare yourself to take advantage of these opportunities. And with that, I'll leave you, my friends. Thank you very much for your attention.
Super. Okay, so we were going to have a teacher, Miss Perkins, join us, and technology is not cooperating with me today. So I'm just going to tell you about what an awesome, amazing, wonderful teacher that woman is. She is a Virgin Islander. She went to school on St. Croix, graduated from Central, I believe. She went to UVI. She graduated and went and got her master's off island. She came back, and as a young woman and a young mom, just like you, Miss Megan, she is an educator and the science coordinator at Central High School. Ashley, your colleague, was able to meet her along with Dr. Garcia and Mr. and Mrs. Fullwood, who are NASA family members and engineers, along with Dr. King, who is a graduate of Ivana Eudora Ken. And she is in a program called E for USA. E for USA is a pre-engineering program, and it's funded by the National Science Foundation. And so we've done a lot of work with NASA and NASA Outreach with the E for USA program. And I just want to big up this amazing, brilliant, beautiful woman who is from here and is really working hard doing the honorable work of education, and is truly one of the important young people that is going to really drive our youth to jobs in engineering and through the educational pathway at UVI. So for our educators at Complex and our educators at Central, we love you and we appreciate you. Miss Perkins, you are amazing, and I cannot wait to see that robotic arm made of shoelaces and cardboard. Next, I would like to, if it's okay, Miss Megan, defer to my intern, who is brilliant in her own right and is also a Virgin Islander, Miss Tiffany Connor.
Hi everyone. Can you see and hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can't see you.
Oh. I'm not sure what that is.
That's okay. Just keep going.
All right, I'll continue. Hi, my name is Tiffany Connor. Oh, there we go.
There you are.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Connor. I'm a senior biology major, Chem minus from St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, and I currently attend Howard University, and I've been interning with Ms. Chanes since the summer of 2022. I've been working with her ever since. She cannot get rid of me, and I will continue to work with her during my gap year after I graduate. And a little bit of what we do, I've been with her doing a little bit of all her projects with her. We did setting up environmental monitoring systems. We work with senior citizens. We plant trees and distribute trees to feed the community. And last year I was able to be an RA at the NASA pre-engineering program, where I was able to help plan and organize and lead activities for the high schoolers. And we will be continuing that this year, so I'll be a part of that program again. And I was also able to work with a little bit with DPNR and EPA with water resources. And that is about it.
So really quickly, I want to engage Dr. Garcia and Miss Megan in this conversation really quickly. What, Dr. Garcia, when you look at someone like Miss Tiffany, right, Virgin Islander, young woman, really working hard, wants to go to medical school, and is on her pathway, what would your advice be, Megan and Dr. Garcia? What do you think in terms of if she really wanted to? She's doing a gap year with me. She's going to be my first environmental fellow. We're very excited about having her. But I would trade her to NASA for 5 of her, so she goes the price. But what advice would you give her if she wanted to pathway with NASA instead of Miss Chavez?
That's a great question. So I see Tiffany, a young woman like that, and she's very capable, right? And she's very sought after, that her skill set. So I think if Tiffany, if you're interested ever pursuing the NASA route, of course, the first thing would be to, if you're considering, I don't know if you're considering grad school or not, but I think having mentors like Christina is number one, because Christina has worked with NASA in different aspects, and so she'll definitely can guide you. Number two is, participating in NASA experiences, right? Since you're graduating soon, I think there's still opportunities for you. I know that, for example, internships is one of them, right? Even though you might be graduating soon, there's still some time, I think, after you graduate, that you can still apply for an internship and still consider that working at NASA. So even though you will have a planned gap year, look into that, because it doesn't hurt. It never hurts to go for an opportunity. Because
she's applying. She doesn't know that yet, but that's part of her assignment to get in.
Yes, exactly. You see, and so that helps out a lot. And so going for it, applying for as many opportunities as possible, because one thing I will tell you is that in my experience, there's a lot of students that, don't get it the first time, don't get it the second time. So they're very persistent. So being persistent is a key, especially when you're a young lady of color. Persistence is huge, right? And so having good mentorship, having, diversifying your experience, your skill set. So anything you can do to help you stand out, that's what you want to do, right? And so whether it's in medicine, whether it's in space, you can kind of see who the folks out there and their resumes. I mean, all that stuff is public information, right? And so you kind of model yourself after them. Oh, they have research experience, so they have writing, academic presentation experience, attending conferences, being part of an organization, women. I know there's, like, for example, Women in STEM, and there's other organizations that you can be a part of, and those networks are really powerful. They give opportunities, and they give you tuition assistance, scholarships, that sort of thing, to continue your education, right? And leadership skills that you might need, right? And so I would say that to you, if you can be involved in not only applying for things, but also being part of clubs and organizations, at a national, international level, because there you get to network with all different types of people, right? And then, of course, reaching out to folks like me, like Megan, who are here to support, because if I don't know about you or don't hear from you, then I won't think of sending information your way. But once you start connecting, like, hi, I'm Tiffany and I'm interested in this, people remember that and they're like, okay, I know this lady, she would be a good candidate. And that's the other thing, is that people can recommend you. Right. That's the key, right? So once you have that, you have people. The power. Exactly. They can vouch for you. They're like, you know what? This young lady is really attractive, right? Not physically, right? Only, but like mentally, intellectually, and her skill set. And like, oh my goodness, you definitely use somebody like that, right? And they start recommending you, and sure enough, they can start interviewing you for opportunities and keeping you on their list as potential candidates. And so I think that would be some of my recommendations to you, Tiffany.
And Megan, just really quick, because I want to make sure we get to Miss Bryan, our summer student. Briefly talk about Dr. Morales, because he is a medical doctor and he runs the television studio at NASA. So, like, can't be more diverse than that. You didn't get to meet him, Miss Tiffany. Fabulous man, brilliant cinematographer, videographer, creative, just very jealous of all of his skills. Wish I could take his brain and put it on my body and I would be able to do the technology, because we all know that's not my strong point. But Miss Megan, is in the comms unit at Exploration Ground Systems. And so it's really important for her to give you that perspective. So Megan?
Yeah. I mean, everything that Dr. Garcia said is incredible advice. I was like, wow, I should say that. That's good advice.
I know, right? I was thinking that too.
But from my perspective, as somebody I'm younger in my career, I didn't have the traditional career route, which was like, okay, internship right after college, blah, 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 blah. So it took me a few more years in between. And I would say, it was difficult for me to get in the door. That was always the hardest part, which with Dr. Garcia saying things like ways to make your resume stand out, because that is your first ticket in. But my biggest advice is working on your communication skills and selling yourself when you do interact with these people. Because, I mean, you want to be personable, you want to be yourself. Because for me, it was, okay, if I can get my foot in the door and meet these people face to face, then I can show them why I am valuable or what I can actually bring to the table. So I would say, if you get those opportunities, even if it is something that you're really like, I'm questioning this, I don't know if I really want this opportunity, interviewing and meeting people as much as you can, the better you get at it, and the opportunities will just come your way after that.
Super, that's perfect. Miss Kaylin, please turn on your camera. Hello, good afternoon, Kaylin, Brian, Antilles School, Virgin Islander on the island of St. Thomas. Kaylin and Tiffany actually worked together this summer at the UVI NASA Pre-Engineering Summer Academy. So it's a mouthful. And so Kaylin applied to the program. It was required that she had to write an essay and, submit an application, and it was pretty stressful. So Kaylin, could you please share with your colleagues, could you introduce yourself as a future scientist and share with us what your experience was? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kaylin Bryan, a future scientist. I am a ninth grader at Antilles School, and I went to the UVI NASA Future Engineering Summer Academy last summer. The summer program was really enjoyable.
Take your time. Take your time.
The lectures and presentations definitely were some of the best parts of the entire program. It really opened my eyes to multiple professions, and it taught me the steps necessary to succeed in a STEM-based college program.
Yes.
It also gave me a chance to live on the beautiful UVI campus for a week, giving me a first-hand experience of what life would be in 3 short years when I myself would be attending college. And my personal favorite factor of the whole thing was the opportunity to work and live with students and professors alike from all the 3 islands, giving me multiple sources of knowledge and connections. I'm hoping to attend the program this year again to further enhance my understanding of engineering and my connections with students and professors who share a passion for engineering as well.
That's awesome. Okay, I want to ask you a question, and I want Tiffany to respond to this and give you some tips. So for you high school, junior high school students, listen up. UVI is going to open up the applications for the UVI NASA Pre-Engineering Summer Academy. I have 20 slots. If you live on St. Croix, we're going to fly you over. We're going to put you in the dorms. We're going to feed you like a king or a queen, and you are going to have a blast. So, Miss Tiffany, are you ready? Miss Kaylin, are you ready? And then Sam and Megan, you can critique the critique of the critique. So this is about the application. This year, you have to write an essay, and you have to do a 1 to 2 minute video. In the form for the application, you have to put your teacher's name in that will give you a letter of recommendation, and then you have to go track down that letter of recommendation. All of these things are steps for you to practice how to apply for college. The other thing is, this process will help you build your college portfolio. So when you approach some fabulous person who's young and amazing and works at NASA like Miss Megan, or you see someone who has been with NASA for a longer period of time, you know how to approach them, how to approach your work, your writing, your presentation skills. So what advice, Kaylin Bryan, would you give to your future scientists and colleagues across the territory, across the nation, and across the globe in applying for summer programs such as the UVI NASA Pre-Engineering Elite Program?
Am I going right now? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I would say about this is to not overstress it, because while you do need to take some time and consideration into these applications, it is not something to overstress over, and in the end it'll be fine in the end. So just don't overstress it.
Yippee.
My advice would be, well, first of all, when finding someone to get a letter of recommendation, I would send them an email first, and then I would go to them in person, so they can kind of put a face to the names. And then I would say definitely let your personality shine through, and tell them why you want this, why it should be you, and why you're the best person to get this position. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Megan? Can't hear you.
First, you want to unmute your mic anytime you're talking to people. No. So, I would say, you know, I can relate a lot to what Kaylin was saying about, especially when I was younger, really overthinking and stressing things until the point where it came out, I would say, like, my writing was robotic almost. So I think taking a step back and taking a breath to say, okay, these are my list of things that I need to do, that I need to require, that, you know, these are my top 10 things that are most important that I say about myself, and then actually using your own voice, like what Tiffany said. I think that those are perfect pieces of advice. And I also see here that you want to apply early.
Yes. And Dr. Garcia.
Well, first I want to commend Kaylin, because I think she's a very composed, very mature young lady. I would have never guessed you were in 9th grade. That's incredible. And Tiffany as well, for being a great mentor and role model for these younger people. So I think the only thing I can add to what everyone else has said is that have confidence in yourself. Number one, having confidence. You know, don't be timid, don't be shy. You know, you embellish yourself as best as you can, right? Because nobody else is going to do it for you. You got to do it yourself. And the second thing is reach out for help. Ask for help. Don't make it seem like you're all alone. You can't ask a teacher for support or, you know, other adults, because they're there. Adults, because they're there to help you. So never be intimidated. Speak up, because, you know, you need to speak up. You have a voice, and so you make what you want known, because people don't know that. So never assume that, oh, you know, your teachers know what you want to do, or your parents. You know, you got to make things known. So always speak up, use that voice of yours, so that way you can convey and communicate what you want, and then go get it, go chase it, right? So I think those are the only two things I would add.
And then bring all those skills back home, right? So that
Yes.
you can come back and help your own community. Kaylin, you know, and Tiffy, you know this. Mm-hmm. We need roads, we need electrical, we need broadband, we need water replacement of major lead pipe connections. They're replacing all that. So there's lots of engineering that you can learn at NASA through your experiences and internships, things that we can share with our teachers, but it's up to you too. I want to retire. So with that said, I would like to ask my colleague Megan to get ready to do the Joe Acaba video, if we can load that up. But to our viewers online, I want to say one thing, and it goes to Dr. Garcia's point. Choose your hard, right? If you don't prepare, if you don't plan, if you don't organize, if you don't have a pathway, where you start and where you end up may not be the same. We've heard that a lot from NASA over the course of the week. But if you have a plan, right, you can redirect and realign and, fix it and move forward. You can change your mind, change directions. But if you don't have a plan, it's harder. You'll make less money. You'll work 3 jobs. It'll be difficult when you have children. And I think the cost of having a child today is about $3 million. I about died when I read that. So choose your hard, guys, right? Choose your hard. Make your decisions. Find the doers and listen to them. Find the Megans. Find the Dr. Garcias. Find your favorite teacher and talk to them and ask them, what did they do? How did they do? And bring them along on your journey. I'm not going to write you a letter of recommendation. If you come to me a week before you need that, to Tiffy's point, do it early, apply early, be organized. And to Kaylin's point, don't overthink it. If it's not your window, it's not your window. Move along and find something else, because opportunity, the thing for you, will come to you. The difference is you have to try. If you don't go, you don't get. So get going, because that's the only way you're going to get to NASA. Megan?
I think that's so great. All right, we will go ahead and we have a message from astronaut Joe Acaba. Whoops. Hold on one second. I have to toggle. There we go.
Hello, I am NASA astronaut Joseph Acaba, coming to you from the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. I studied and worked hard, graduating high school in California, and then earning both a bachelor's and master's degrees in geology. While working as an astronaut after my last flight, I earned a master's degree in education, an area I strongly believe in. Education opens doors to so many opportunities. Much of my life has revolved around education, both as a student and a teacher. My education got me to where I am today. When I became an astronaut, it was like going right back to school. We have to learn all about our spacecraft, we learn to speak Russian, and we train in high-speed, high-risk operational environments to help us get ready for a space mission. I've flown 3 missions, one aboard the Space Shuttle Discovery, and twice on the Russian Soyuz spacecraft. Missions lasted from 2 weeks up to 6 months. Here at NASA, we continue to advance the research and technology to return humans to the moon. We are still pushing forward with plans to send the first woman and first person of color to the moon under NASA's Artemis program. No human has set foot on the moon since Apollo 17 in 1972. So the possibility of landing on the moon is incredible. On November 16, we watched Artemis 1 launch and execute the first lunar orbit in more than 50 years. This was the first integrated flight test of NASA's Deep Space Exploration Systems, the Orion spacecraft, Space Launch System rocket, and the ground systems at Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral all came together for this extraordinary mission. Artemis 1 traveled a total of 1.3 million miles to the moon and back. After a 25-day mission, Orion successfully splashed down on December 11th in the Pacific Ocean. The capsule is now back at Kennedy Space Center, where it is being tested and studied. Up next will be Artemis 2, taking astronauts to the moon, and it will be here before we know it. I'm currently the chief of the astronaut office, ensuring crew safety and mission success. My hopes are to inspire the next generation of explorers and leaders and to help elevate, build awareness, and highlight the teaching profession and its importance to our society. As you learn more about NASA and all that we do, I want you to remember that we are all crew members aboard the space station, our beautiful planet Earth. Viewing the Earth from space reminds us that we all share the same orbiting sphere as we travel around the sun together.
Super. So as we get ready to close out this conversation, I want to start with Kaylin. Kaylin, any closing comments you want to make to the students about your experience? Just a quick closing out comment.
I would highly suggest at least applying. It is a wonderful experience to have under your belt, and it was an amazing opportunity.
Miss Tiffany, any closing comments?
Yeah, I would just say make sure to apply and apply early, and I'd be so excited to work with you guys this summer. I'm really excited.
Miss Megan. Oh wait, let me do Sam. Sam, I miss you. I love you. Thank you for always coming to the Virgin Islands physically, virtually. Whenever we ask you, you always come, and I appreciate you so much. Our teachers love you. And I want to put a little bug in your ear, guys. I have this vision of the pre-engineering program with a mini conference with a teacher training. And you know me, I don't ever do one thing. I have to do all of the things. So any closing comments on that? It'll be the last week of June.
Oh, that's definitely something that we can discuss. I would love to learn more about it. And, you know, we're open to ideas and suggestions. So, you know, if there's possibilities, then we definitely like to pursue those. But, you know, thank you very much for the work that you do, Christina, and what you're doing. You know, it's so important. And you're like a one-person team out there. You're an army in one person, right? That you're amazing. You're able to move mountains, essentially. So that passion of yours drives what students are doing, what the teachers are doing. So, you know, we commend that. And, you know, it's just really an honor for us to be working with folks like you because, you know, you give us pathways to do that work that we're supposed to do. And so we couldn't be in this partnership without you and your heart and your time, your energy, and the love that you have for your community. And so that inspires us to do even more. So we hope that we continue to do this, you know, and other work together, you know, for many years to come.
You're going to make me cry. Miss Megan, I have one little tidbit that I want to share, and then I would like for you and I to close this out. We have a very quick slideshow that we want to show you of what our students did in the Summer Academy, the NASA UVI Pre-Engineering Summer Academy. So please bear with us. I know we're running a few minutes over, but this is a conference that the students went to. And that is our beautiful group, and they are at DPNR with the director of DPNR, and Dr. Henry is in the back there. But that is our inaugural pre-engineering NASA UVI Academy. Does it go? Oh.
3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Okay, go.
1, 2, 3.
Whoa. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Ready? Okay, hurry, I'm on. 1, 2, 3. Okay, go.
1, 2, 3.
Ready?
1, 2, 3. Okay. Ready?
Yes.
1, 2,
Lord, fix it.
3.
Oh my.
And with that, Miss Megan, if you want to offer any closing comments.
That was so fun. I loved watching that.
That was the egg drop. It actually made it to the 3rd floor.
Yeah. I'd just like to say thank you for everybody for joining us today. I think it's so great to hear from young people and just with their whole careers in front of them. And one day, it doesn't feel like it now, but one day you will be looking back on how you built your career and you'll be able to feel proud of yourself and say, wow, that decision led to this one. That no opened up the next door. So just try and stay positive. Every no turns into a yes eventually. And we're so excited. And hopefully next time we all connect, we'll be in person.
Exactly. And I just want to remind all of our students, our educators know this, but I can't leave you without saying it. My favorite F word is fail. Go out and fail and fail and fail, because if you don't fail, you don't succeed. And so try and try and try again. It's the same with school as it is with community service. If you don't get your application in first, you don't get the cool job. So you don't get the cool internship. You don't get into the cool program. And some of these programs in engineering, electrical, mechanical, they're very competitive. So take advantage of every free opportunity. The university has the Eastern Caribbean Science Program. We have the Math Behind the Science Program. We have the VIMAS Marine Science Program. These are all summer programs for college or incoming high school students. So take advantage of them. Call me. Your teachers have my phone number. You can find me on Facebook. But I'd like to thank everyone for coming, and I would love to just share with our teachers any of the tools, resources that we have. Many of you know we give out about $50,000 worth of STEM supplies per year. It's a lot for a small community, and it's really hard to get it, but we love doing it, and we love making sure you have the tools to build our future. So on behalf of the University of the Virgin Islands and the College of Science and Math, we love you. Be good. Choose your hard. See you next time.
Thanks,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye, Christina. Miss you.
Bye. I love you. Today's
Love
my
you all.
birthday. It's my favorite day of the year. This is what I love to do. You know that.
Awesome. No, it's
I'll
good
call
to see
you next week. I'll see you. I'll see you through the week, but I'll call you next week.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Thanks, Megan. Good seeing you.
And
as well.
Megan, I need to say this with Sam on the phone. You make a way more fun Zach.